Welcome in to Texans Today. Have a great show on tap for you. We got a Texans versus Saints preview and the injury reports from both teams this week. Yeah, we traveled across enemy lines. We're going to be looking over at the Saints and talking about enemy lines, talking about our enemy. We're in a sub-battle this week up against Saints now, and I hate saying this right now, we're losing. We are losing this battle, but we're losing the battle, but don't let us lose the war. Help us right now. Go down and hit that sub button. Subs added this week. Texans today 159, Saints now 206. We got to get those numbers up. I can't lose to our Saints Now host. The Battle of the Bayou is in your hands. Go down and hit that sub button and help us beat the Saints in our sub battle this week. And starting off, we have the Texans injury report. These guys did not practice on Wednesday going into Thursday. Filming this right before practice. These guys did not practice. Laremy Tunsil, Shaquill Griffin, Robert Woods, Maliek Collins, Tank Dell. Tank Dell still dealing with concussion protocol. He left that Falcons game last Sunday. I don't think he'll be able to go this week up against the Saints. Laremy Tunsil, he's been kind of like a DNP on most Tuesday, Wednesday practices. I expect him to be good to go this weekend, but Shaquill Griffin was out with that calf this past Sunday. Will he be good to go this next coming week? These guys limited in practice. Christian Harris was a surprise DNP last Sunday up against the Atlanta Falcons. He was a last-minute, submission of inactives against the Falcons. I was not seeing that coming. Christian Harris came in with concussion-like symptoms Friday, made him miss the game on Sunday. Shaq Mason, I expect him to be good to go. George Fant as well. Blake Cashman, we need him. He's our best linebacker, in my opinion, right now. And these guys, good to see these guys back. Josh Jones should be available if the Texans need it. The O-line depth has been atrocious. Titus Howard obviously played last Sunday, is still dealing with that hand. He's a full participant, though, as he gets that hand better and better each week. Tavier Thomas as well with the hand was not playing this past Sunday against the Falcons. Will we see him this Sunday up against the Saints as we go across enemy lines? The Saints injury report. These guys did not practice this past Wednesday. Jimmy Graham, Ryan Ramczyk for rest, though. Landon Young, another offensive tackle. Lonnie Johnson, one of their safeties. One of their star tight ends, Jawan Johnson, with a calf injury, did not practice. These guys limited. I expect them to play, though. Cam Jordan, Chris Olave, the two big names here, both playmakers, both studs on their sides of the ball. That Cam Jordan pick is hilarious. And then we go to the full participants. Derek Carr has been dealing with a shoulder injury. We'll see if that affects him this Sunday up against the Houston Texans. Marcus May, with the suspension, is full participant. And Andres Pete, coming back from a concussion-like symptoms, so he was a full participant in practice. He should be back for the Saints. All this Saints-Texans talk has led me to this question. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get an ad break, perfect timing. I want to know, what is your score prediction, Texans versus Saints? If you get it right, maybe a prize in your future. Let me know down in the comment section. There's an ad on YouTube. Just scroll on down and give me your score prediction in the comment section. I'll be looking. I want to see what you think this game's going to be like. Now, what to watch in Saints versus Texans? I just have a couple key points, a couple, things I need to point out in this game that you should be looking out for. Number one, it's the Saints quarterback, Derek Carr. Which one will we see? Which Derek Carr will we see up against the Houston Texans? He's been good. He's been bad this year. He's been kind of like a roller coaster, just like he was in Las Vegas. But he's dealing with that shoulder injury. Will that affect him up against this Texans defense? Let's look at the numbers really quick. These are Derek Carr's numbers in the two Saints losses from this year. 36 of 55, 230 yards. That's in 2 games. 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Not a lot going in those Saints losses. Couldn't get it going. Couldn't even get a lot of yards in 2 games. 230, that's what a lot of quarterbacks get in 1 game. Derek Carr getting that in the 2 Saints losses. Compare that to the Saints wins. Yes, he has more interceptions, but he is slinging it a ton more. The Saints offense, a lot better when Derek Carr is throwing the ball. 62 of 95, 716 yards, 3 touchdowns to those 2 interceptions in the 3 Saints wins. So, Derek Carr, which one will we see? Will we see the good Derek Carr where he's slinging it a ton of yards up against the Texans, or can the Texans rattle him? Can they contain Derek Carr this Sunday? That'll be something that really you need to focus on, especially with this Texans defense, how they played last week. I thought they played well up until the last drive up against the Falcons, and maybe one of the first drives against the Falcons whenever they scored. But throughout the game, I thought the Texans defense played well. Which one will we see up against the Saints? I have a couple more what to watch fors coming up. But first, got to show some love to our sponsor of today's video. It's Prize Picks, baby. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this football season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Prize Picks offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts, like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25%. Here are my picks for this weekend. I already hit one with Patrick Surtain. I know that's going to happen. Plus, you got to go more than 3.5 tackles. Justin Tucker, more than 1.5 field goals made. This is the one that I'm a little bit nervous about. I hit the more on Dameon Pierce rushing yards at 54.5, and C.J. Stroud. You know I'm loving me some C.J. Stroud. I gotta go more on C.J. Stroud, 242.5 pass yards, and you can too with our sponsor Prize Picks. So just go to PrizePicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. It's Prize Picks. Daily fantasy sports made easy. And I thought, why not, wait on the fun? Why not have some fun right here with Prize Picks? I have one of their stat projections right here for you. It's Alvin Kamara. More or less than 63, should be 0.5, but it's okay. 63.5 rush yards. Give me more or give me less. I need 63.6. Giving you 0.6. Here we go. More or less than 63.6 rush yards. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. You can make picks just like this. Get in on the action right now with our sponsor at Prize Picks. Let me know more or less on Alvin Kamara rush yards. Speaking of Alvin Kamara, what a segue. Prize Picks to Alvin Kamara, my next what to watch. Wow. Whoever did that was really smart. Whoever did that they knew what they were doing. Can the Texans contain Kamara like they did Bijan Robinson? I mean, we'll have to see. The Texans, they kind of put the clamps on Bijan Robinson. Only 14 carries, 46 yards, 3.3 yards per carry for Bijan. He has been lighting up the league, but the Texans, they kind of kept them at bay. They were able to kind of counteract how good he's been. And the Saints backfield looking pretty good. They have Alvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, the rookie out of TCU, both pretty good backs. These are their stats for this season. Kamara, 33 carries, 131 yards, a touchdown, 16 receptions for 50 yards. Kendre Miller, 22 carries for 74 yards, 0 touchdowns, 6 receptions for 58 yards. So, can the Texans hold the Saints backfield and Saints quarterback? Maybe. We'll have to see. Now going over to the offensive side of the football, it's C.J. Stroud. Stroud, honestly, I'm one of the biggest Stroud lovers. I'm a Stroud truther. I love me some CJ7, some C.J. Stroud. But we got to be real. He did not play that well up against the Atlanta Falcons. One of his more down games, in my opinion, from that game to maybe the other down game he had was up against the Ravens. But those were probably his 2 worst games in the NFL so far. Here are his stats through all of this season. 61.3% completion percentage, over 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns to 0 interceptions, and a 98.4 rating. So, C.J. Stroud, he needs to show out. We need to see the C.J. Stroud from the prior 2 weeks if we're going to beat the Saints this week. I think C.J. Stroud can do it. I want to see him turn it around and have a better game than he did last week. And lastly, will we finally see the Texans running game get something going? We saw glimpses of it. We see it here and there, maybe a little bit, or maybe a little bit here, maybe a little bit there, but it just hasn't seemed to all come together. The Texans running game with Dameon Pierce, and I don't know whether it's him, whether it's the offensive line. It seems like he's always getting tackled in the backfield. It seems like he's always getting met at the line of scrimmage and then running guys over for 2 or 3 yards. A lot of people say, hey, Dameon Pierce, he doesn't really hit the lanes like he should. He's looking for contact, which I don't know if that's the case all the time. The Texans offensive line has him in the best in the run game, but I want to see more from Dameon Pierce. I want to see more from this Texans offensive line, because I think if you have a more balanced attack, this Texans offense can really be good in the NFL. So far, we have C.J Stroud doing his thing, and the running game just can't really seem to get it going. We have C.J Stroud turning it up, and then the Texans running game being able to do something. Watch out, NFL. Watch out. And like I said at the beginning, we're in a sub-battle. So go down there, Texans fans. We're at war. Come on. Go down and hit that sub button right now. Help me beat our Saints host, and let me rub it in his face. Go down, hit that sub button, or go to youtube.com/TexansTV for daily Texans news and rumors.